Hey everybody, on today's show, Congressman Fitzpatrick giving the community an update, business owners what they should be doing, advice right now with the packages, and also what he's fighting for, some of the bills to help us business owners out. Don't forget to smash that share button, follow me at Lance Bachman on Instagram, and keep sending me your questions, and we'll get back to you. Thank you everybody, let's go.
Yeah, I'm Brian Fitzpatrick. I represent Pennsylvania's 1st Congressional District. And before that, I was an FBI agent. Started in New York City, ended in LA. And in between, I traveled the world working counterterrorism, counterintelligence, and cybersecurity cases.
Once again, thanks for being on, Congressman. Congressman, I guess, we see what's going on in the community. You have a few 100,000 businesses, a little over about 800,000 people that you lead every day in your local area here. What's the community saying to you? What's the small business saying to you? Are they scared? Are they unsure? What are you hearing? You're on the front lines every day, still going to your office, working 12, 15 hours a day, you and your staff, which I want to thank you personally for, because I know how important it is for my business and many of my clients and other businesses out there, what you're doing. But what are you hearing?
Yeah, we're hearing a lot, Lance. I'm on the phone literally 12 hours a day, answering questions, dealing with small businesses, our employees, healthcare workers, school teachers, and we've got to forget about the impact on the schools and our kids, and our police officers, our firefighters. There's a lot of different, unique, moving parts here as far as issues go. But mainly, people are concerned because this is unprecedented. It's called a novel virus because it's new. It's nothing we've seen before. Certainly nobody in our lifetime has experienced anything like this from a health standpoint and an economic standpoint. There's some sectors of the economy that have been completely 100% shut down. That has not happened in our lifetime. So we're trying to get answers to them. Also, with the legislation that we've now passed three separate bills, including a $2.3 trillion bill just last Friday that provide pretty significant economic relief. And it's not just important that we pass that. We actually have to execute it, and we have to answer the questions, particularly for the small business owners, so they know that of that $300 billion piece of that bill that we passed, what that means for them, where they go, that they go to their community bank and not the SBA to get those forgivable loans, which are essentially grants that cover payroll for 2.5 months for their employees to the tune of 100% and go even beyond that. So a lot of it is us just breaking down the legislation for people in very simple, digestible forms, so people can understand that and get relief. And moreover, also helping people from our community that are stranded overseas, many of whom, ironically, were in Peru. We just got the last one home yesterday, helping from the foreign policy piece as well.
Thank you. As you know, this is a business show for the most part. We talk about community things, but for the most part, it's about businesses moving forward. In this time right now, what's the biggest challenge for your businesses in your area? What do you see the biggest challenge if you own a business right now? As a business owner, what's the biggest challenge you're hearing, and what are you saying to them?
Yeah, there's no question what the biggest challenge is, and that is this is an unprecedented time where you have the simultaneous occurrence of two events. On the one hand, you have the government ordering businesses to shut their doors, shut down their business, send their employees home. And on the other hand, you have insurance companies telling these same businesses that this is an uninsurable event. That's an impossible combination. Those two things cannot happen simultaneously. Otherwise, every business is going to shut down in America. So we have to fix one or two of those things. Obviously, we can't, piece number one, we have to abide by, because that's the public health piece of this. We need people to telework. We need people to maintain social distancing, sanitation, wiping down surface tops and countertops and elevator buttons and door handles and washing their hands frequently and thoroughly. So that's important. But what we're trying to address now is the insurance piece of this. The economic relief package is now backfilling to the extent we had thus far, and I expect we're going to go back and do this again to fill the gaps. But we got to fix this insurance piece going forward, Lance. You cannot have an uninsurable event as a business. The whole purpose of insurance, the whole reasons businesses buy insurance and spend a lot of money on insurance, is to cover themselves for the unexpected like this. And this has been a huge loophole in the system that we have to plug.
Congressman, you just brought up something that's interesting, and we don't talk politics on the show. You know that. I know you're a political figure, but the one thing I think I could say and vouch for, you've always been kind of neutral, right? You've always been kind of like me, even though you're a political person, but you down the line. So we're not going to talk about politics, but you just jumped down a rabbit hole. I'm going to follow you here. I know it's not. Are you part of the fight to get us that in money right now that, hey, listen, it's not an act of God that clause that the insurance, because people think that the 2.5 months payroll is really going to bring business back. It's not. We're losing millions
Yeah.
every month, businesses, and they're telling us it's not insurable. And can you explain that to the viewers? Because I think people don't understand that. And are you part of the lead for that, or is that part of the bill you're trying to pass? Because
Oh yeah,
you brought it up, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole if that's okay.
Sure. No, I not only am I supportive of it, I'm leading it. Much to the chagrin of certain special interest groups out there that have come down heavy on this. But I will tell you, Lance, I post things all the time on social media. When I posted that I was working on this to get these in the packages, the relief packages, and we have another one coming up, to not just provide payroll relief, but also the whole point of business interruption insurance is to provide for loss of revenues. Obviously, the things that are envisioned are fires or floods or earthquakes, things like that. But this is causing a huge loss of revenue for a lot of businesses that have business interruption insurance, that have insured their businesses for the unexpected like this. So we are taking on that issue against the special interest groups. I posted a statement just like I do all the time. And Lance, my Facebook blew up. I think there were like 700 shares and like 5,000 likes on this. And I never see anything like that on anything I ever posted, which told me that clearly this is an issue that I knew was big, but it's a lot bigger than even we expected.
Well, I can tell you this, Congressman, from me personally, I'm going to thank you, because while everyone says, oh, Lance, you have one of the biggest digital agencies in the country. Well, it impacted my business too, Congressman. And we talked about that offline. It's impacting every business out there. And you're delusional unless you're in the grocery business or the delivering food business.
Yep.
Your business has been impacted. And that's what this show is all about moving forward. And I can tell you from my clients and from a lot of my people around, I want to thank you, because we need that to pass, and we need it sooner than later. And that's going to be the lifeline a lot of businesses need. Here's the next question for you, Congressman, because I think it's important right now. You're a leader of our community with doing things like this that is just unexpected. And thank God we have someone like you sticking up for the small business person doing something like this, because we need it. But to people watching this show, if you're a mother at home with your children right now, you're a leader. If you're a father at home right now, you're a leader. If you're an employee right now, you're a leader. I don't care what your title role is in the world right now. Leadership is there in one way or another. Someone's looking at you. What would you say makes a good leader, and what should a good leader be doing right now? If you don't mind asking that question, I know it's not part of earlier what we talked about, but I just came to my mind. Do you mind, Congressman?
Sure. Yeah, I've always viewed leadership, no matter whether you're leading a family or you're leading a business or you're leading a district as an elected official or you're leading a cavalry or a sports team, no matter what it is. I've always viewed leaders as having two essential qualities. Number one is lowering the volume and lowering the temperature. So when the seas get stormy, being that calming influence to calm everybody down. And second is to bridge the gap. So if people have divergent views on how to emerge from a crisis, on how to solve a problem, don't reject anybody's ideas. Take everybody's feelings and thoughts and ideas into account, and try to bring people together for a common solution. And I think that's really, really important. And really, leaders lead by example. So people should follow the conduct of us. They should follow the conduct of their children. Should want to follow the conduct of their parents because their parents are emulating good behavior. Business employees should want to follow their leaders of their business because they're leading by example. Do as leading by example and leading by action. So I think that's the most important thing, is being a calming influence in a tough time, bringing people together, and leading by example, conducting yourself in a way that you want your employees, your children, your constituents to follow.
Congressman, I know you're working a lot of hours over there, 12, 15 hours a day. I know your staff, we've been in touch with you. Other people have been in touch with you that I know. You're helping a lot of my clients here locally. You've even given advice to some of my clients that are out of your area, which is amazing to me. So I appreciate that. My question to you, though, is when you're sitting here and you're looking at it, what would you say to your community, your staff, right now? How are you communicating to them? Because we know to get in touch with you. How are you staying in front of your community? How's your staff staying in front of the community? Are you using social media more? Are you using teleconferences more? Can you tell us? Because you were a business of relationships. When I first met you, you called us and you said, hey, I want to meet Lance, and it got connected. You came here and you met us and we spent time. We had a great conversation. You're very likable. You're a relationship person. But this has all changed now. How's it changed your business? And how are you staying in front of the community, which is important?
Yeah, I mean, I told my staff we're essentially an essential service right now because a lot of people have a lot of questions, whether it be on the business side, helping healthcare workers get access to N95 masks and all the supplies that they need. Working with our school superintendents to try to navigate the educational piece for this for the kids staying at home, helping our law enforcement personnel. There's a lot of different pieces to the puzzle, but my staff working. Obviously, we're all leading by example and maintaining social distancing. Everybody's maintaining their space. People that can work from home are working from home. We also have a distance presence in this office here, where I am now, where we're fielding a lot of phone calls from people that are stuck overseas trying to get loved ones back home, to people that are hospital workers that need assistance trying to access stockpiles, whether it be at the state or national level. It's all hands on deck right now. This is a wartime type scenario. We're fighting an invisible enemy here. And I told all my staff, we need to step up to the plate because when you represent 750,000 people and you hit tough times like this, we got to step up to the plate and be leaders and be there for all of them as much as we can be.
That's amazing because that actually goes into my next thing is I think you have about 350, 400,000 business owners actually in your community that you lead every day. And they are scared, Congressman. They are not sure. You're hearing so many different things about the stimulus package, so many different things. Insurance companies, they're scattering like flies. They don't want to get back. You're not covered. You're not covered. Every agency says you're not covered. You're not covered. You're not covered. Not covered. Right? So and the SBAs, these banks that never did SBAs, they got approval to do SBAs. And like you said, there are some good local banks that the Penn Communities, the Centrics, some great local banks that have always done SBAs. I'm not going to give my opinion on the SBA loans or not, or the grants. It's not my place. But what would you say to the business owners that aren't educated on that? Can they use you as a resource, your staff? Can they contact you? What would you say to the business owners that are nervous? What would you say to them to calm them down?
Yeah, please utilize our staff. We have a tremendous team here. They are true public servants. Our phone number is 215-579-8102 if you have any questions on guidance on how to navigate the legislation from an economic relief standpoint, or any question really. Please reach out to us and we will do everything we can to fix your problem. And if we can't fix it, we'll try to navigate one of the other agencies who can help with that. Like I said, part of what we're trying to do is get through the other side of this curve, so to speak, on the as far as the healthcare piece goes, and the medical piece, and everybody's got to do their part. But please stay at home and give our office a call if you have any questions, and we will do our best to navigate that for you.
Congressman, as you know, this show is about moving your business forward. Even though you're not a business owner yourself, I look at you, and I said this the day I met you, you also are a business. You run a business, a lot of people. You're leading a lot of people. You're delegating a lot of things. You're responsible for lives, thousands of lives. You're responsible for thousands of bills to get passed. All these things that are so important. What are you doing on a daily basis right now internally to move your business forward? Why? I know you're working 12, 15 hours. Are you kind of just reacting, or are you also being proactive? Can you let us know what you're doing to move your business forward?
Yeah, I mean, we're a customer service entity here. We are, responding to a lot of calls, obviously, and getting people answers and connecting with different agencies. We're also proactively reaching out to the community, letting people know the services that are needed out there. I mean, just yesterday I was at a blood drive with the American Red Cross. I myself gave blood and just wanted to send the message out to the community that our community blood banks are very depleted because of this situation. So people that can go out should. But mainly just trying to get answers and give as much certainty as we can to businesses. Obviously, none of us have a crystal ball. We don't know exactly how long the curve is going to be going on the upward trajectory before we cross and start going down. We're hopeful that if everybody does what we all should be doing on the distancing side, on lowering the healthcare demand, to make sure that we cancel elective surgeries, that we take care of our elderly, and we make sure that we can expand our healthcare infrastructure to the extent we can through ancillary facilities, whether it be reopening wings that are closed at the Lower Bucks Hospital, utilizing things like Congressman Hospital, which is now a closed hospital, but it is much more easily repurposed than some other facility. But we're doing everything we can, Lance, to respond to issues on the business side, take care of people on the healthcare side, and give them as much certainty as we can as we get these data points in from the COVID task force, to give people some idea as to when we project to the best of our ability that we'll be on the other side of this curve.
Well, I did have the final roar for you, but being that you brought it up before I give you that question, You brought up Hahnemann Hospital. Can you update anybody what's going on there? Because I'm hearing different things, and I'd rather get it from my local leader than someone else.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly on the list of places when we talk about our lack of surge capacity. The normal healthcare model for many institutions in this country, on a normal day, they could be operating at 70% or more capacity of their ICU beds. It's not in the business model of the healthcare system in this country to plan for what they call surge capacity, a massive, unexpected influx of patients. That's one thing we have to fix when we get on the other side of this curve. But in the interim, we're looking at locations that could be easily repurposed and re-outfitted and retrofitted, if you will, to be more suitable to handle any kind of surplus or overflow of medical needs should that need come. So that's part of what we're looking at right now.
So there is no deal with Hahnemann yet, Congressman. Is that correct?
Not that I'm aware of. Again, that's not my district, so I can reach out to my colleague, Dwight Evans, to see if he knows of anything. But we will get back to you on that for sure. It's certainly on the list.
I'm glad you're more polished than me, because I'll say on my show, this guy needs a good smack, because that thing should have been opened operational 2-3 weeks ago. And there's a time to make money. There's a time to do right by the community. And I got a lot of loved ones here in Philadelphia, Bucks County. And, you know, a guy from California shouldn't be dictating what goes on here. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm not going to do politics. I understand the business element of it. But, damn, we got a community here we got to protect. Well, Congressman, I got your own Digital Alliance shirt coming to you. I'll mail it out to you. Thank you for being on. Everyone, you heard it from Congressman Fitzpatrick right here, leading the way for all of us. The Digital Alliance is out. Congressman, to you and all of our essential workers out there, the police, firefighters, nurses, doctors, everyone that's on the front lines, the Digital Alliance and all of our supporters, thank you, because without great people like you, we wouldn't be able to get past something like this. Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you, Lance. My pleasure. You know, I ask two things of our community. Number one, please lead by example. You know, this is a very, very serious outbreak we're dealing with. It's a pandemic. It's a highly infectious virus. It's highly contagious, unlike anything we've seen before. And it's so imperative and so important that everybody maintain social distancing, stay at home as much as possible, and make sure that you're practicing sanitation, wiping down countertops, surface tops, washing your hands rigorously and constantly and thoroughly to make sure that you know, we're stopping the spread and slowing the curve of the virus. And second is to keep everybody on the front lines in your prayers. Our healthcare workers who are on the front lines of this need your prayers. Our police officers and firefighters who are going out every day serving our community need your prayers. And the people that are at most risk need your prayers, particularly the elderly population. I have two parents that are both 85 years old. I love them dearly. I haven't been able to see them. My brothers and sisters haven't been able to see them. Their grandkids haven't been able to see them. And they're just one example of so many people out there in our community. You know, our elderly population, it's a lonely time for many of them to begin with. And this has really made it a lot more challenging for them. And it's a very, very rough time for them. Keep them in your prayers as well, and anybody who's immunocompromised, who's at a high-risk category. The reason that what we're doing, distancing, is not just to protect ourselves, it's to protect our elderly population, our immunocompromised, and to get through this quickly. The more that we can hunker down and follow the rules now, the quicker we will get through this as a community and as a nation. So I just encourage everybody to lead by example and keep the people that really need your prayers in your prayers.